Excuse me. Hold on. Mic check. 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, on IWN, this is your Monday Night Raw, July the 6th, 2026 review. I couldn't do a watch party and results due to storming, lightning, and hailing. And it was raining outside too. Really bad. Really bad. And it might be doing it tomorrow too. I'm not sure. The forecast did say it was raining just now, but no, I don't say that no more. So I apologize for the update from earlier, man. I had to. I know y'all wanted to know my thoughts on Monday Night Raw, Season 2, Episode 26. So hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if y'all are new. Turn on bell for notifications. We were at 940 subs, but we lost a subscriber. So, and we had 2 subscribers last week previously. Looks like they are still on the list. Could have been a bot subscriber, who knows? If you guys haven't listened to my AA on Fox 25 4th of July watch party yet, go listen to that now. You can go listen to my SmackDown Night of Champions Fallout review, as well as my Night of Champions Monday Night Raw Fallout review. And we were live for NXT last week as well. So we were live for Raw, NXT, SmackDown, and AA last week. We got some news to go over, including news on TKO and Sheamus. Sheamus is reportedly leaving WWE. He's expected to leave. They already have him on the alumni section. Going to give you guys my thoughts on that, the good and the bad on that. I'm also going to give you guys mostly the bad on the TKO stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight to the review. Share the stream, folks. Let everybody know I'm live with the review. Invite them to join if they want to listen. Most importantly, hit the thumbs up and spread the word and keep supporting the channel. Now, let's go ahead and get started with the review this time. So, I'll be honest with y'all. I watched every single clip coming out of tonight's Raw, and This show had me all over the place, emotionally from start to finish. We kick off the night with the cold open roster rivals, everybody showing up to the building. Then Seth Rollins opens the show in the ring, addressing the WWE Universe as the leader of the Vision, setting the tone for the night. Then we go straight back to where Adam Pearce is running around, having meetings, trying to control of the chaos. Jackie Redmond is on interview duty. So pretty much Rollins addressed the universe, and he was talking about Roman Reigns and stuff. He mentioned Roman Reigns, and it led to LA Knight coming out. So Jackie Redmond is on interview duty all night. First, she interviews the Vision backstage. Braun Breaker and Logan Paul, of course, building up their dominance. You guys know that Seth Rollins is not the leader of the Vision, right? He's no longer the leader. But I'm just saying, he does his little thing in the ring. Seth Rollins is a babyface. He's not a hero anymore. He's long gone from the Vision. But we had got tag team action right after this interview. Vision backstage building up their dominance. We had the Street Profits taking on the Vision High Energy opener. Montez Dawkins bringing that fire, but the Vision standing tall as usual. Here's and then back again with another meeting, then a follow-up segment after that tag title situation. So hold on, let me rehook this thing and rehook it back in. Make sure it's working. Okay, we should be good now. All right. So like I said, the Vision was standing tall as usual. Then it was back to Pierce in the back again with another meeting, then a follow-up segment after that tag title situation. Then Raquel Rodriguez steps up, delivers a strong backstage promo, talking her talk, per usual. Big Mommy Cool, sexy Raquel. And then we got Jackie catching up with Penta backstage for a quick interview. Then we roll into Sol Ruca versus Raquel Rodriguez. Singles match. Raquel using that power advantage. Sol Ruca bringing that athletic flips and energy, but Raquel gets the job done. Then we finally get to the meat and potatoes of Raw. Paul Heyman and Femi face to face in the middle of the ring. Now, this is where Raw went from mid to must see. This is what I call real Hell in a Cell hype right here. Heyman doing what only the wise man can do, says Femi made the biggest mistake of his life accepting Brock Lesnar. Inside Hell in a Cell. He says he's beatable, says Lesnar dominated his entire career in a match. In a match that, like that, and Oba wasn't having none of it. The crowd erupts. Oba fires back. If Brock doesn't watch the show, how he know all the names calls Heyman scared to his face and promises to beat the beast incarnate inside the cell and close this chapter forever. That segment alone was worth the watch. One of the main best things of the entire show. The other best thing was Sami versus CM Punk, but there was definitely something bad about it. We're going to go over it. Because I actually tweet out and expressed my feelings and my unhappiness seeing CM Punk winning the Undisputed Championship when he should have been coming back turning heel. We should be getting heel CM Punk versus babyface Cody without the title. That's what we should be getting, really. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to go over that here in a few minutes. Jackie is back with Sami Zayn after we got this Hell in a Cell hype with Oba and Paul Heyman. So we had this Zayn backstage interview before his big defense. Then we got Ethan Page and Rusev versus Chad Gable and Dragon Lee. Tag team preview for next week's #1 contender Gauntlet Super Fun Tag Match. Fast-paced action, fans buying into the near falls down the stretch. Rusev locks in the accolade and forces Dragon Lee to tap Page. And Rusev gets back in the win column after some big losses. And then they pretty much draw real heat beating down the babyfaces, including Joe Henry, who ran out to try to make the save and got laid out. Then Jimmy Uso has a moment with Jackie Redmond backstage. Then we got into the WWE Championship picture with a couple segments building the world title scene. Bayley cuts a backstage promo of her own, bringing that veteran presence. Then we got Dominique Mysterio and JD McDonough scheming backstage. Judgment Day business as usual. Then it's main event time, listed as Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes, but we all know it ended up being Sami defending the Undisputed WWE Championship against the returning CM Punk. Punk, gone almost 3 months, walks right back into the main event in his hometown in front of his wife and family and beats Sami Zayn to become the new WWE Undisputed Champion. And listen, the match itself was fantastic. Red hot, Chicago-style crowd, don't get me wrong. Sami Zayn was the last real good guy for real pushed. Punk to the absolute brink, even broke out Punk's own moveset, trying to steal a win on 2 different occasions. But in the end, Punk hits a haluva kick of his own, then the GTS to put Sami away and win the GOAT. My issue here, Chad, is the booking. Like I told y'all on Twitter X, and y'all can follow me on Twitter X at the villain IWN. Unpredictable and bad booking are not the same thing. Yet you got some geek online who claims that And it makes total sense. It's called unpredictable, which you all ask for all the time, but still, bitch, go watch Wednesdays. It's more for you. Motherfucker, first of all, like I said, unpredictable and bad booking are not the same thing. We ask for good, unpredictable, not random bullshit that makes zero sense. If you think that Gunther taking out Cody just to hotshot Punk versus Sami Zayn for the Undisputed title makes sense, you people are the reason creative gets away with this lazy shit, dude. Really. And then I commented, I responded to Don's comment and I said, stay off my tweet, clown, with a clown emoji. He thought he had the balls to come in there and respond. But I clearly won this argument, this short argument here. Because I quote tweeted with a last comment and I said, oh, and Punk coming back as a heel versus Cody right itself for SummerSlam. Instead, they gave Sami a 9-day reign and had babyface Punk stealing his moment. That was not heel. And if you thought that was heel Punk on Raw, I'm sorry. You're wrong. That was definitely not heel Punk. That's not unpredictable. That's just dumb booking. You defending it proves you actually don't watch for story. We done. That's exactly what I quote tweeted and put. We complain for a reason because we care about the talent. We care about how they're getting booked. We care about how they're getting pushed. We care about the movesets that WWE gives them. We care about the gimmicks that WWE gives them. We care about how the shows for Raw and SmackDown, Evolve, AAA, and NXT are supposed to be. Was Monday Night Raw the best Monday Night Raw this entire week? Hell no. Seriously, man. Giving Sami Zayn a 9-day reign after waiting years for that WrestleMania moment is disrespectful to Zayn. It really is. To the fans who invested in him, if Punk was returning, the obvious money move, like I said, should have been heel Punk versus babyface Cody for SummerSlam for the Undisputed title. It writes itself. That's what WrestleMania level money. Instead, we got babyface Punk stealing Sami's feel-good moment. And now SummerSlam is a mess now. Who do we cheer? Who do we cheer for? Is Cody supposed to boo Punk? Is Punk supposed to boo Cody? It is straight up confusing, creative, fumbled. So while the Hell in the Cell build with Heyman and Femi and the Sami Zayn versus Punk main event were easily the best things on the show, everything else on this card just solid B minus, solid low B minus filler. Nothing must see. So for me, Monday Night Raw gets a solid little B minus. Let me know in the comments when the string gets processed if y'all agree that Sami deserved better. Should Punk have turned heel? I will read every comment if I get any. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Now, moving on to the WWE news. I don't know why it should have been. It still should have been heel Punk versus babyface Cody for SummerSlam. Sami Zayn didn't deserve to drop that title. He didn't deserve to lose that title. Remind you, folks, he only had a 9-day reign. That's nothing. You might as well say Sami Zayn had one of the worst fucking reigns ever because of creative and administration. But heel Punk versus babyface Cody is the obvious money move, man. This is WrestleMania level money. Should have been. Or they should have had Cody Rhodes come out and turn heel on Sami Zayn. That could have set up heel Cody versus babyface Sami Zayn for SummerSlam. They could have did it that way. I'm just saying there's plenty of ways WWE could have did it instead of having Punk come out to beat Sami Zayn to win the Undisputed Championship. Okay. We're going to start with the Sheamus news because a lot of people are going to miss Sheamus, and I think the internet wrestling community is going to miss him too. Some of them are going to want him back in WWE by the time his contract expires, by the time he leaves. So we got to talk about this Sheamus news, man. We really do. Fightful Select is reporting that Sheamus is set to leave the company after his contract expired. And the big point here that everybody needs to understand is WWE didn't cut him. He turned down the extension. He chose not to re-up. And that's a big difference. So the report is WWE approached Sheamus about a restructured deal while he was out injured. He rejected it pretty quickly, and his contract was already set to expire within months anyway. So there was no reason for WWE to release him and trigger that 90-day waiting period. There's no exact expiration date out right now, but word is it's happening soon, and the timing is hard to ignore because this comes only 2 months after WWE was set to be renegotiating deals with several talents in a pretty aggressive way back in May, where it was reported WWE approached numerous wrestlers about taking less money in order to stay. And if you didn't want to take the new terms, you could walk. So the good and the bad and why. For me, the good is that Sheamus bet on himself, and he earned that right after almost 19 years in WWE. Now, here's the thing. This ain't some random mid-card exit. This ain't some random mid-card exit. This is the Hall of Fame resume. It's a Hall of Fame resume, and 4-time world champion, 2010 King of the Ring, 2012 Royal Rumble winner, 2015 Money in the Bank winner, United States champion, major tag team run with Cesaro as the bar. He came in as a hard-hitting Irish powerhouse and stayed relevant through every era, from John Cena and Randy Orton and Triple H to Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan and Drew McIntyre. And you got your Gunthers and Cesaros. He made everybody better. And every match was a banger. At the banger. At the banger. At the banger. And he never complained. Yep. That's what I said. The good is he leaves on his terms. No 90-day non-compete mess, because He let the deal expire. So if he wants to go to AEW, TNA, or New Japan Pro Wrestling, Internationals, Indies, or just do his Celtic Warrior workouts and chill with his family at 48 years old or 50 years old, however old he is. I know he's in his 40s for sure. Now he can do that, and he deserves it. He absolutely deserves it, man. Let me just check. How old is he? Yeah, he is in his 40s. Okay, I was right. I had to check to make sure. Yeah, he can do that, and he deserves it, man. He really does. Now, here's the bad about it, and why is WWE fumble situation? It tells you everything about how they value vets right now. And I'm talking vets. What I mean by vets, veterans, veteran wrestlers. You got a guy who gave you 19 years. You approach him while he's hurt with a restricted or restructured less money deal. The same aggressive renegotiation tactic they tried in May. You think he's just going to sign it. You think he's just going to sign it? Well, that's disrespectful. And from a creative standpoint, it makes zero sense. I've been telling people on Twitter X, heel Sheamus versus babyface CM Punk. Heel Sheamus versus babyface CM Punk would have posted up the Raw ratings. Would have been one of the many things that would have boosted up the Raw ratings. That was easy money. That was a story that writes itself. Villain versus hero. They never did it. They kept him in mid-card limbo with no real title run for 5 years. Now, you let a locker room leader walk for nothing. And you show the whole locker room loyalty. Doesn't matter. So, yeah, I'm happy for Sheamus. But I'm also mad at WWE at the same time for how they handled it. So, let me know, folks. Do y'all think Sheamus made the right call? Like I said, let me know in the comments when the stream gets processed. When it's officially processed on the channel. It ain't going anywhere. Now, this may be the last WWE news I go over. I don't know. I'm going to have to, after I go over the news on the TKO stuff, may have to look over and see if there's any more important news. If not, then I'm going to end it from there. I'm going to get out of here. Okay. So check this out. I was going to go over the news on WWE allegedly not really seeing Sami Zayn as a top guy, which I think Sami Zayn is a top guy, in my opinion. When I look at Sami Zayn, yes, he was screwed. But WWE needs to book him like one with real wins, real focus, and a real title reign that actually has some weight behind it. Because Sami Zayn dropping that title to CM Punk proves and tells you everything you need to know about WWE, how WWE feels about Sami Zayn as a top guy, as Undisputed champion. So he's always been a top guy, man. They need to just start booking him like it. Simple as that. Next time they put the championship on him, they need to make it feel bigger. Now, let's move on to the news on top TKO names behind WWE Creative Shakeups review. That's what I meant by the TKO stuff. Now, here's my honest thoughts on this top TKO names behind WWE Creative Shakeups. So, I got mostly bad things to say about it. And I'm not pleased or happy whatsoever because this just confirms everything I've been saying for months about why Raw and SmackDown both feel cooked, regardless of runtime. Because WWE's creative power structure just got another update, and this one finally puts real names behind the corporate influence fans have been wondering about. And TKO has had final authority over WWE since the US. But there has always been one big question hanging over everything: who actually steps in when something changes from above? And back in April, Mark Shapiro made it clear that TKO has full control over WWE operations. If it wants to use it during a Q&A session with students, Shapiro explained that TKO is ultimately responsible for what happens under the company banner. And he said, and I quote, I'll kind of walk you through that. First of all, it has complete control. So we're responsible. And Shapiro also talked about how WWE's business became more valuable over time, especially after the company went public and later merged with UFC under TKO. And he went on to say that nobody knew. They knew it was successful. And the brand was strong and it had a legion of fans, but they didn't really know how the business worked and what it was making. Then Vince went public with WWE, and then TKO was formed with UFC and WWE coming together. And that started a lot of talk about whether Triple H really still runs the creative, or if TKO has been quietly calling more shots. And at the time, Sean Ross Sapp explained during a Fightful Select Q&A that Triple H still handles the day-to-day and week-to-week creative, even though TKO has the power to step in whenever it wants. And they said, quote, well, they do have full control if they want to, but Triple H runs the day-to-day and week-to-week creative. Like, there's a lot of people that seem to be letting Triple H off the hook for bad creative. I keep saying this. He is not being imploded on when it comes to the Women's United States title booking or the booking of the tag team wrestling or mostly anything else. And Sean Ross Sapp also said TKO tends to get more involved around the biggest business moments, especially WrestleMania. And when something shows up on WWE television, that feels like it came out of nowhere. That can be a sign the WWE came from higher up. And he said this quote, TKO gets involved around like WrestleMania an awful lot, as we've seen. If they want something to happen, it will happen. They do have that control, and a lot of times when something happens out of left field, that's generally what it is like. It's something like that. Triple H still runs creative. Now, Sean Ross Sapp is putting names to that influence during the July the 5th, 2026 Fightful Select Q&A. He was asked who from TKO is getting involved in WWE Creative because people have wondered if Paul Levesque is being forced to change long-term plans to satisfy executives above him. And it was made clear that TKO is not sitting there changing every match, segment, and promo. This is not day-to-day micromanaging. When TKO does step in, it is coming from the very top. And he said, quote, they're not like micromanaging everything. It's always the very top guys. It's Mark Shapiro and Ari Emanuel. Right? They're the ones with the power and the authority to do all that. And it was also said WWE creative sources told him that when something happens that feels totally out of left field, that is usually a sign of TKO involvement. And he also said, quote, that's really about it from what I've heard. People in creative told me if something ever happens, like out of left field, that's probably why. And Sean Rossap stressed again that TKO is not changing every little thing behind the curtain. So Triple H still runs creative, but that does not mean the top corporate names are hands off when they want something pushed through. And he said, quote, he said, quote, but they're not micromanaging everything, every little thing. That's just not the reality of the situation that's going on there. And it was also pointed out that when TKO has been involved in changes, that it's not always for the better. He pointed out to The Rock and Pat McAfee being worked into WWE plans as examples of situations that usually come from that corporate level. And they said, quote, have they been involved in changing some stuff, and especially for the worst? Yeah, they have. When The Rock keeps getting shoehorned in, and when Pat McAfee gets shoehorned in and all this weird stuff, yeah, that's usually TKO doing some like that. And that makes the current setup pretty clear. Triple H is still the one steering WWE creative every week, but TKO has the keys to the car whenever it wants them. If Mark Shapiro or Ari Emanuel want something done, WWE creative can be forced to adjust. And that is example why I am saying my answer to the question, do I think TKO stepping into WWE creative is helping the product, or does it create more problem names get involved? Is obviously no. Here's why in detail, because TKO stepping in does not help it create more problems. It creates more problems because you got two corporate executives in Shapiro and Emanuel who are not bookers, who don't understand long-term storytelling, heat, or babyface and heel physicalology, making calls based on stock price and mainstream headlines and sponsors. You got them forcing The Rock in for months, which derailed Cody's first real title defense story. And you got them forcing Pat McAfee getting 20-minute promos and commentary spots, while real tag teams and women's mid-card get 3 minutes. 20 minutes or 3 minutes. Now, the part that you got them forcing Pat McAfee getting 20-minute promos and commentary spots while real tag teams and women's mid-card gets 3 minutes, that is absolutely insane. That is ridiculous. Wow. You got them forcing SmackDown back to 3 hours in January. not for creative reasons, but for TV rights, money, which proves runtime never was the problem. I've been saying it for months and months and months. You still got Triple H administration proving this mid, and the WWE creative writing team writing this recycled mess to fit around those corporate mandates. So when you see Cody, which Cody Rhodes did not beat Sami Zayn clean, he ended up getting assaulted by Gunther, and it led to CM Punk being Cody's replacement to beat Sami Zayn to win the Undisputed WWE Championship. Yeah. If you're risking leaving him off the SummerSlam card for a rush 3-week build for Punk and Cody, honestly, that's the definition of out of left field TKO booking, and it's fucking terrible for business long term. It kills Sammy's momentum. It makes titles feel worthless. It leaves fans feeling like nothing matters week to week. That's why I've been saying lymph don't save bad TV fix. The booking fix creative. Fix the writing until Triple H administration, TKO, and creative team does that. Raw and SmackDown both cooked, regardless of real time. That's why I have mostly bad things to say about this report. I mean, this is straight up disappointing because it proves it's all three at fault. Simple as that, folks. Now we got CM Punk as WWE Undisputed Champion, and he's the face of SmackDown. Folks, let me just say this before I get out of here. Let me just give you guys my thoughts on Punk as the new Undisputed WWE Champion in the face of SmackDown to potentially boost up the SmackDown ratings. I got mixed feelings, mixed reaction, because on one hand, I get it. Punk is a huge draw. Punk as the face of SmackDown is going to boost the about it. But SmackDown has, like I said, SmackDown is struggling in putting the Undisputed title on Punk and making him the face of the Blue brand. That's a business move to get those ratings back up and get people talking. It's going to work short term. People will tune in to see Punk as champion. But what about Monday Night Raw? That's the question. Monday Night Raw, on the other hand, is doomed. The ratings are going to drop even more now that CM Punk is Undisputed Champion, and now he's on SmackDown. Now he's the face of the SmackDown Men's division in the entire show. So, in other words, there will no longer be CM Punk on Raw. CM Punk, once he's Undisputed Champion, he's gone. He's gone from Monday Night Raw, and then he's moved on to SmackDown. He is now SmackDown full time. Now, he was Raw. He was on Raw full time, and now he's SmackDown full time as Undisputed Champion. Yeah. Raw is definitely doomed. No question about it. What this means is Raw just lost its biggest star. We just got Punk back after 3 months. Like I said, he beat Sami Zayn for the title, and now he's gone to SmackDown. So my thing is, to creative administration, what was the fucking point of having him win the title on Raw just to take him off Raw? That's bad booking, dude. It hurts Raw big time. Raw needed Punk. Raw needed that star power to carry Monday nights, especially with Cody out after Gunther took him out, and now Sami lost his 9-day reign, and Punk is leaving Raw, and now Raw is left with no top babyface champion. You know who the current WWE World Heavyweight Champion is, right? Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is a heel champion. There's no babyface champion on there. So now SmackDown has a babyface champion in CM Punk. You had Cody as a babyface as champion. Now you got CM Punk as a babyface champion. You guys get what I'm saying here? Do you understand what I'm saying? All right, let's be for real. The ratings are already shaky. Now they're going to drop even more. SmackDown might possibly get a boost, but at the cost of killing Raw's momentum. So Raw Punk as Undisputed Champion faces SmackDown will help SmackDown short term, but long term it's going to hurt Raw bad. Really, really bad. What makes it even more crazy is that, again, WWE World Heavyweight Champion is Roman Reigns, and yet he is a heel. So now look at the landscape SmackDown is about to have. Seriously. CM Punk as Undisputed Champion as a babyface of the show to boost up ratings, while Raw is still stuck with Reigns as the World Heavyweight Champion, as a heel, as a top guy on Monday nights. That is a fucking disaster for Monday Night Raw. Raw is supposed to be the A show, the flagship, and now you got a heel Roman as your world as still your world champion. You got Roman as your world champion who still barely shows up, and you just lost CM Punk, your biggest babyface draw. to Raw and now to SmackDown. He was on Raw. That's babyface. You just had Sami Zayn lose in 9 days. Sami Zayn's not even a Raw talent. He's a SmackDown talent. Who is the top babyface on Raw now? Jimmy Uso, Seth Rollins, Dragon Lee? Dude. Seth Rollins is on CM Punk and Roman's level. Jimmy Uso and Dragon Lee, on the other hand, no. They are not on Punk or Roman's level. Like I said, this last time I'm saying it, Raw is doomed. The ratings are going to tank. This is bad. Fans, there are some fans in their internet wrestling community on Twitter X that I know for a fact want to see babyface champions chasing and overcoming heels and not heel champions, dominating with no real babyface to root for. And now SmackDown has the babyface Undisputed Champion Punk to carry the show and boost ratings, while Raw has heel Roman Reigns holding the world title hostage. Do you know what this is, folks? I'll tell you what this is. This is As Batworks booking, one-on-one. And it's why Raw is going to suffer big time going into SummerSlam. And if it doesn't, I will be shocked. Because I did say that AA and Raw are two of the best consistent shows of this entire year. But some weeks, I've also said that some weeks Raw is solid, other weeks is mid. Not with AAA. I might be moving AAA to my number one WWE TV ranking list, man. For real. I think I'm about to move it up. I think I'm going to move it up to number one and put Raw at number 2. Let me see if I have any other news, if there's any other real important news to go over for me to give my thoughts on. I see tweets saying that Punk just put the Undisputed title in the fridge. Man, he really is happy that he's Undisputed champion. He's really excited. Good for him. Not good for Sami, though, because he, like I said, 9-day reign, that's nothing. That is nothing compared to all the other title reigns in the company. Wow. Oh my God, man. Raw is dead. Raw is doomed. It's done. CM Punk is on SmackDown. He's gone. He has moved on from Raw. I would be even more shocked if they say that CM Punk winning the Undisputed title and being the face of SmackDown was a trade for Cody Rhodes. So in other words, CM Punk to SmackDown and Cody to Raw. I would be even more shocked if they made that announcement. Because Lord knows we do not need that to happen right now. You know, I think WWE should have went with turning Cody heel instead of having Punk return. Punk should have been returning to SmackDown. If they wanted Punk to win the Undisputed Championship so bad, should have booked Sami versus Cody for SmackDown. And then have Punk come back. Then have Punk come back and turn heel rather than win the title. Punk come back, turn heel, sets up Punk, heel Punk versus babyface Cody Rhodes. I think what's next for Sami Zayn is a potential returning Kevin Owens. That's what I think. I think they're setting up Sami and Kevin Owens for SummerSlam. And I hope to God that happens. Holy shit, because Sami Zayn needs something. Sami Zayn needs to be on the SummerSlam card. He is a top guy, dude. He's good at what he does. I don't know why he shitted on so much online. And then I found it funny how the sicko said CM Punk was going back to AEW. And that had me laughing, dude. These people online are clueless, man. They thought CM Punk was going back to AEW. No, damn well he is not going back to that company. He is not going back to AEW. Me. Oh, guess what else I found out? Uso's wife filed for divorce, folks. We got to go over this, dude. Jey Uso's divorce case now has a date attached to it. Court docket show legal papers tied to his split from and so Warriors of marriage listed their marriage as February the 13th and said the marriage. Let me repeat that again because they're skipping. Can y'all hear me now? Okay. Mike, 1 2 1 2. Check something. Okay, so let me go over and repeat what I just said. This is the one and only time I'm gonna repeat this. So Ringside News obtained the docket which lists Jey Uso's wife as the plaintiff, and Joshua Fatu as the defendant. Judge Benjamin D. Cooker has been assigned to the case. As Uso's wife filed divorce after years of marriage, she So yeah, she filed for divorce after 12 years of marriage. She date February 13, 2014, and said marriage was done. The couple one minor son. So who was born in 12th. They also had is already over 18. It's always the audio problems every time, all the time. Ugh, drive nuts. Jey Uso's wife is asking for primary physical custody of their minor child, but she is open to joint legal custody. She also wants exclusive use of their Georgia home along with child support, proposal support, and attorney fees. Socket processed on June initiation form, ventilation, standard and of absence. Leave of absence. Form. Yeah, I'm about to go. really, though, to think that the docket shows filing list on June 24th that paid relations standing of absent files. That's not public. While he remains one of WWE's biggest names on television, now that's what they say. Away from King. Now, you're probably going to ask me what Twitter X probably is. If this audio does this one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. Oh, this is why I got building up on him, man. So this is why I got to get a new audio thing. Reload the page. I'm back. Reload the page. But yeah, that's some crazy stuff about Jey Uso's wife filing for divorce, man. I mean, wow. I mean, yeah, that's about it. It's popping on Twitter X. I was writing what I said, so. give y'all my thoughts on the date. Jay Uso's divorce filing date now being reviewed. So I'm going to give my thoughts on that, and I'm going to get out of here. So here's my thoughts on it, folks. And like I said, it was already tough when I read it, when I saw it. Everybody talked about this on Twitter X in the wrestling community. This is tough to talk about because this is real life stuff, not wrestling story. Stuff reports coming out July 6, 2026, that his wife filed for divorce in Fayette County, Georgia, after 12 years of marriage, saying the marriage is pretty much broken and there's no prospects for reconciliation. That's heavy. And they've been married since, like I said, February 13, 2014, per the court doc. So this ain't some short thing, folks. This is over a decade, 2 kids, family involved. And now Jay fired back, telling fans to leave her out of it on July the 6th, which I respect because fans do need to stay out of people's personal lives. This ain't about ye or bloodline or titles. This is a man going through a divorce in public while still having to perform on TV every week. People are already bringing up Jada Parker rumors from late 2025, and all that extra stuff just makes it messier. So my take is I feel for both Jay and his wife, especially the kids. Divorce after 12 years is never easy, and hopefully people give them privacy and let them handle it in court, not in the comments. And I'm sure everybody wants Jay to be okay mentally outside the ring because that affects everything inside the ring. So, hopefully both sides can come to a conclusion and get this resolved. That Jay can get back to his wrestling, get back to what he does in the WWE. But anyways, folks, I'm gonna end the Raw review, get out of here. Timestamps will be in the description. I'm gonna put them in the description try to put them in the description while the stream gets processed. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I noticed there was a few of you in here. Some of you made it, not all of you. That's okay. We got NXT to look forward to tomorrow. Am I looking forward to NXT? No, because the card is looking mid-average right now. So it's like yay and no at the same time. And we got Kendall Gray on the show. I mean, that's somebody I always look forward to. I just hope they give Layla Diggs and Thea Hall and all these women that got buried and wasted. I just hope they get them more TV time on NXT tomorrow night. They could use it. They need it. That's what I'm hoping. We'll go over the lineup before NXT airs on CW. And I'll see you guys then. Peace. I'm out of here. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, share the streams, share the watch parties, watch alongs, and results. Subscribe for more of those things. Subscribe for more wrestling content here on the IWN YouTube channel in general. Let's get at least 2 or 3 likes on the stream. See y'all live for NXT. See y'all live for NXT tonight. Take care.